The story that you are about to hear is a compilation of documented true facts, featuring characters, events, or places that has played a role in shaping history. Please sit back and listen as I recite this narrative for you.
As an archipelagic nation, the Philippines' mythology naturally abounds with tales of enigmatic animals and occurrences that emerge from the depths of the ocean. A quick examination of some of the country's worst marine disasters reveals an intriguing and perplexing pattern. Many of them occurred in and around the province of Romblon Seas. This has sparked a slew of conspiracy theories concerning a so-called Romblon Triangle, which is modeled after North America's much more famous Bermuda Triangle. The Romblon Triangle is located between the islands of Mindoro and the Dos Hermanas and Sibuyan Islands in Romblon Province, a region south of Luzon that has claimed thousands of lives over the years, with Concepcion Municipality in Romblon in the north and the islands of Dos Hermanos and Sibuyan in the south. The Coast Guard and local residents have dubbed the area the EDSA of Philippine waters, as the majority of Philippine and foreign vessels pass through on their way to Visayas and Mindanao. Mishaps at sea are unavoidable in such a crowded seaway. However, many locals have noticed eerie parallels between the Sibuyan Sea area and the Bermuda Triangle, where marine vessels have sunk or vanished under mysterious circumstances. Some of the most well-known sea vessels that have perished in the Romblon Triangle include MV Doña Paz, the most significant and the most egregious. The tragedy of MV Doña Paz was the country's, and some say, the world's worst peacetime maritime disaster of the 20th century. Just before midnight on December 20, 1987, a large collision was heard, followed by the sound of explosions. The ship and its 4,386 passengers were immediately engulfed in flames. Only 24 were killed when the Sulpicio Line's passenger ship collided with the oil tanker MV Vector, which was carrying over 8,000 barrels of highly flammable gasoline and kerosene in its hold. It happened in Tablas Strait, a shark-infested strait that separates Mindoro Island from Panay Island and Romblon. MS Don Juan. A similar incident occurred in Tablas Strait 7 years before the MV Doña Paz. The Don Juan was famous for its cruising speed, which reduced travel time from Manila to Bacolod to 18 to 19 hours compared to 22 to 24 hours on other vessels at the time. It had the opulent Admiral-class cabins, a symbol of first-class travel for the NN fleet. It was the first of its kind to have watertight compartment and cabin doors. The luxury liner MV Don Juan, bound for Bacolod, collided with the oil tanker MT Tacloban on April 22, 1980. Don Juan was swallowed by the sea in 15 to 20 minutes, taking with it dozens of people still trapped in cabins and bunks, crew members who remained at their posts, and those who were already in lifeboat but were not released on time. In the shark-infested waters, hundreds of survivors trashed and yelled for help. The tanker Tacloban's crew rescued as many survivors as they could, as well as those killed instantly by the impact. According to reports, the ship was only authorized to carry a maximum of 864 passengers, including its crew, but it was discovered after the incident that there were 1,004 passengers on board. There were a total of 176 confirmed deaths. The remainder either survived or were reported missing. MV Princess of the Stars. On June 21, 2008, the most recent incident occurred. The MV Princess of the Stars was a passenger ship sailing from Manila to Cebu that was allowed to set sail despite rough seas caused by Typhoon Frank because the vessel was large enough to stay afloat in the typhoon's periphery. The typhoon unexpectedly changed course, putting the ship in danger. The MV Princess of the Stars was a passenger ferry owned by Sulpicio Lines, a Filipino shipping company. The ship sank off the coast of Romblon, San Fernando. A total of 437 people were killed, with over 600 still unaccounted for. MB Gem. MB Gem was a motorboat that left Look, Romblon on January 3, 1989, bound for Malay Aklan. What was supposed to be a boat that could only carry 31 passengers was reportedly carrying 174 passengers at that time. It went down near Tablas Island, off the coast of Aguho Point in Romblon. 16 people were killed and 45 people went missing. Japanese ships during World War II. At least 4 Japanese ships are said to have perished in the Romblon Triangle. Allied planes sank Musashi, Japan's second most powerful battleship, and 2 destroyers, Nagato and Miyoko, during the Battle of Sibuyan Sea. Meanwhile, the Yamato was severely damaged and sunk when it arrived in Okinawa. The Maghali group of Romblon Islands were made accessible to the provincial capital and to Luzon in the 1950s by the construction of wooden launches that plied the routes Lucena City to Romblon and Manila to Romblon. Asuncion Shipping, now known as San Nicolas Shipping, based on the island of Banton, was one of the companies that rose to the forefront of wooden vessel shipping. It had a fleet of 7 to 10 ships that were divided into 3 classes. One of these classes, the Editor, was caught in a storm while traveling between Banton and Simara in 1950 and sank. The Philippine Coast Guard had noted that in Tablas Strait, waters from the Pacific Ocean and the West Philippine Sea intersect, forming riptides that cause large waves that make the area dangerous for ships. There is a lot of folklore surrounding the Romblon Triangle, from mermaids to cursed seas. Even galleon crews sailing the Sibuyan Sea on the Manila-Acapulco galleon trade route are enchanted by the area's waters. When a galleon enters the waters, special prayers and offerings are made to appease the spirits who haunt the area. But one well-known legend behind Romblon's countless maritime disasters is the legend of a certain Lolo Amang who pilots a ghost ship roaming the area and appears just before disaster strikes. According to local legend, Lolo Amang lived on a nearby Sibali Island, which was also said to be home to werewolves. Locals claim that his ghost ship, allegedly made of pure gold, sails every night in the waters surrounding the Romblon Triangle. Despite the darkness of the night, the ship shimmers so beautifully that mariners can see it from miles away. Witnesses claim to have seen an ongoing party on board, complete with fair-skinned women, music, and good times. According to reports, the MV Don Juan collided with a tanker, and just before the collision, some speculated that the crash was caused by Don Juan's attempt to avoid the ghost ship. The ship was allegedly manned by Lolo Amang, the Filipino equivalent of the Flying Dutchman. Other people have a logical explanation for the spate of accidents in the area, ignoring these legends and reports of the paranormal. For one thing, the waters off Romblon have been dubbed the EDSA of Philippine waters, referring to its status as a busy sea route for many ships making their way from Luzon to the Visayas and Mindanao, as well as vice versa, increasing the likelihood of unfortunate collisions. Sea accidents and disasters are caused by natural phenomena such as high tides, storms, typhoons, human error, pilot disorientation, and other factors, such as the area's topographic features, a Coast Guard official told the Manila Standard.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to say that I am incredibly grateful that you took time out of your schedule to listen to my narration. This is Nikki of Twysted Mind, wishing you a great rest of your day. Salamat.